knows, or some of you know, that we've been working hard at this initiative for the past 3 months. And with the obvious imperative, what we're trying to do is build an organization amongst ourselves, amongst the City of Toronto staff, acknowledging what all our concerns and issues are and what we share in common. For those of you who don't know, it is the society that is helping us to organize. They are supporting us with resources, expertise. We asked them to come and help us after they approached the Board of CATAPSA to offer their help in partnership and to strengthen CATAPSA. Unfortunately, the board turned that down. So a few of us went forward saying we still want to get what these workers have, like enforceable terms and conditions for their work. So we asked them if they would stay on and continue to support us. So right now they're helping staff this and keep the initiative going.
Thanks, William.
I guess from a triggering point of view, there was a moment in time that the corporation took an action that basically raised everyone's interest, and that moment of action for us was the hours of work and overtime policy and the elimination of post-retirement benefits. We had a motion from our membership on the floor, and we had a well-attended meeting. They asked us to explore certification, and we started to go down that process, right? I see this a little bit differently here because the group that's here to assist you, you're years ahead of us.
What I'd like to do is run you through kind of what we've been through for about the last 3 years. If you've got a goal that you'd like to attain, then you've got to stay focused and you've got to concentrate on reaching that goal. So until about 2004, 2005, we had a very good working relationship, and it was an informal working relationship with senior administration in the city. For some reason, that all went to hell in a handbasket. And in January of 2007, we had what's called our founding meeting. So right off the bat, we thought the only thing the city would likely challenge was who would be in and who would be out of our group. And lo and behold, they challenged our ability to even form a bargaining unit. In mid-2008, the board ruled in our favor that we had the ability to organize. And then lo and behold, in July of 2009, we had the infamous CUPE strike in Windsor, which lasted 101 days. And at the end of that strike, because the non-union employees were quite instrumental in keeping the city running while all of the CUPE employees were on strike, so they approached us and said, what will it take for your certification application to disappear? So we have reached an agreement with the city, and it's a little different than a collective agreement. It will be more or less a contract. What the city has done, they have formally recognized our ability to represent our members.
Our story is a little different. I'm Bob Young, I'm the Executive Director from Wapso. We had an association similar to what CATAPSA has and what you guys have prior to 1973. And 3 or 4 guys at that time said, you know, we're not getting the respect we need, we deserve. And they went on the route in '69 where the City of Winnipeg eventually said, you don't have to go to the Labour Board, we'll recognise you. So we were lucky in the sense that the City of Winnipeg recognised us as the official bargaining agent at the Labour Board for professional, technical, managerial staff within the City of Winnipeg. The formalised ability to sit down with the employer and to negotiate a collective agreement is absolutely the best thing ever. We don't have the ability to strike. In our collective agreement, we do have binding arbitration. And we don't need the permission, or it doesn't have to be agreed to by both parties. Formalising your contract with your employer has huge benefits as far as your ability to be heard and to say the things that you want to do and to be able to go forward through legal means or through grievances to get your issues resolved. Wapso, I believe, is probably the template for what professionals are looking for in their collective agreement. We hear constantly from members saying, we don't want to lose the ability to have binding arbitration. We don't have any seniority clause in our collective agreement. Any promotions are based on merit. So these are the kind of things that we hear professionals telling us that they want within their collective agreement, and that they want us to promote when we're talking to the city or we're having issues with the city going on.
We have about probably 10 minutes. We have to race out of here to catch a taxi, get on the train, and go home. But one of the things, or a couple of things I'd like to say is this. One, there's a misconception out there in the public by taxpayers and residents that people who work for a city, doesn't matter what city it is, that we're all fat cats, we're all overpaid, and we do virtually nothing all day long, and we have benefits like crazy, and we're really coddled. Those of you who work for the City of Toronto or any other city know that's untrue. And it's also a misconception that if you're in management, if you're not in a union already, if you're not part of CUPE, that, boy, you really have it good. And that's ridiculous, because when they start to take away all kinds of benefits, and they start to take away all the things that that CUPE still managed to hold on to, that's really frustrating, and you can never answer those things. People go, yeah, you work for the city, we know you have it good, you can't tell us any different. So don't be embarrassed to stand up for yourself, and whether that means that you want to entertain a bid to join a union or to form a union or to create an association that has some sort of recognition, you go for it, because nobody else is going to stand up for you. Taxpayers aren't going to feel sorry for you, not for 2 seconds. So you have to stand up for yourselves, no matter where that takes you. One of the things when you're talking about the process, it was really, I guess it was challenging for us because we didn't have the society, we didn't know about them, wish that we had, but we were starting from scratch, so it was a huge learning curve. We had to educate ourselves on all things union, the best that we could. Certainly we came from a union town, so there was no lack of resources to find these things out, but still most of the people that make up the group, or the non-union group at the city, don't come from a union background. Some of them do, they work their way up through the ranks, but many of them didn't, so they didn't have a clue. If you don't want to do that, but you think that you'd be better off with an association that's not a union, then I suggest that you find some people that are really dedicated, because there are no lack of hours. We did this kind of stuff on the weekends and at nighttime and our own time, and it's exhausting. It's really, really exhausting. Certainly worth it at the end of the day, but it's not an easy task, and nobody's going to do it for you except yourselves. That's it.